I am Bohemoth, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite plugin maybe ever. And that's a bold statement because I have a library of about 1,000 different plugins. But this one really stands out. It's absolutely changed my drum game, and I'm going to show you why and what it is. Let's get into it. Before I hop in, I wanted to mention that I'm currently doing one-on-one mentorship lessons on abletonliveteacher.com. The quickest way to get good at production is to work with a mentor, be that me or someone else. I've had some amazing mentors in the past, and that's really made the difference of where I'm at today. Send the link if you're interested in that. Also, at this point, I'm uploading new videos every other day, so toss me a like and subscribe. It's appreciated. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. So before I hop right in this plugin and show you the features, I want to give you a little bit of backstory about this plugin because it's pretty unique. So typically plugins and VSTs are created by plugin companies. And that's all great, but they're not created by producers and they're not created by artists. That's what makes this plugin so unique. It's created by Decap. If you're unfamiliar with Decap, he's kind of like the GOAT. He's definitely one of the GOATs of production in trap and hip hop, even in electronic music. Joyner Lucas, Watsky, Locksmith, tons and tons of tracks on the Billboard top charts. And his drum kits, KNOCK, are in all kinds of movies, commercials, tons of artists use them. They're pretty much renowned as like some of the best drums in hip hop and trap. So definitely check out Decap if you don't know who I'm talking about. But anyway, the point is we have this artist here, this producer, and he's known specifically for his drums and his sound. He worked with developers and he came up with this plugin KNOCK. And that's what makes it so special. It's made by a producer for a producer. So first we're gonna go over some of the features and what it's capable of, and then we're gonna use it on a drum loop and actually hear what it's doing. So over here we have 5 different settings: punch, saturate, sub, air, and clip. So the punch is kind of like a transient chamber. Think of it like if you want more transient heavy hits in your kicks and your snares or in your hi-hats. Turning this up is really gonna help kind of with that punch and emphasize the transience of these. So here when we crank it up, we kind of get that heavier attack. So already just having this in a unit with other processing applications is extremely beneficial. Instead of having to go and grab a transient chamber or go in and compress, you have it right here. I absolutely love this. I use this feature all the time. Going to the saturator, there's 3 different settings on saturate, and they're all kind of different coloration. So with the saturation, we kind of have like the less intense and less coloration up to the most. Again, absolutely great. I love the saturation feature because when I'm processing my drums all together, instead of going back and having to find a saturator to work, again, I already have one right here. So it really helps to kind of make the drums all sound similar and like they're cut from the same cloth. So the puncher into the saturator, we have transient consistency in our drums, and they're also saturated similar. So it's kind of making them all vibe and sound good together. Coming over here into the sub module, this is one that I also love. The reason is because sometimes when you're producing, you want your subs separate. You want to have like a completely separate sub and you want to compress it with your kick. But sometimes you want your sub frequencies coming from the kick. And when that's the case, this is absolutely fire for that for a couple of reasons. One is because you have easy access to the key right here. If we want to kind of get more sub bass out of our kick and use that for our source for our sub bass, we can do that. And we can also turn it up here and we can adjust the decay. So how long of a sub do we want? The key will actually correspond with the frequency over here as well. Absolutely fire. Definitely tight. You can just put a kick on this and you can have your kick and your sub already right there. You don't even have to drag a sub in. So super tight. Next, coming over here, we have air. So if you're unfamiliar with what air is, it's really those really high frequencies and boosting them, which gives a little bit of excitement and a little bit of, for lack of a better term, air in your mix. So if we crank this up, we can hear the crispness of the snare and the hats and everything boost it up. Again, super tight. This is something that when I'm working on drums or I'm working on synths or even vocals, I typically want to boost the air anyway. So once again, having this right in the same module as all these other processing units is absolutely fire. Coming into the last one is the clipper. Now the key to this style of drums is having that clipper at the end that really just gives it that crunch and makes it sound super loud. This clipper in particular sounds really good. Not all clippers are created equal. And actually, he just came out with a module for this clipper that's standalone, which is also tight. The only other clipper I like as much as this one is K-Clip. But this one sounds fire. So let's take a listen here. And up here is your control for how hard or how soft the clipper is. Again, the thing with this plugin is not necessarily the modules it has. It's very nice having them all conveniently placed. It's the quality and the sound of them. Going into this bottom row of options here, we have the control for the input and the output. We also have gain match, which I love because typically you would have to go and manually match the gain yourself. And this one, with all 5 modules, you can just press gain match and it'll match it for you. And we have the quality here. So say you're like in a live session or you're trying to save CPU, you can have it off or you can have it good. But I would say if you're going to print to audio and you want that super high quality, we can go to pristine. We have a tone knob so we can control the tone. And then of course, dry and wet, which is super nice to have baked into this module. And an output. These 2 bars up here are actually a high and a low pass. And then of course we have a lot of presets here, personally made by Decap, 808s, kicks, breakbeats. So again, this is one of those plugins that I use every single time I open a track. It's absolutely irreplaceable. Can't recommend this plugin enough. I'm gonna go ahead and link it in the description. I would say if you're making trap or you're making hip hop, buy this plugin. Quality, I would give it 5 stars. It sounds absolutely amazing, does not sound cheap at all. Pricing, it's priced at $100. I'd say that's extremely competitive considering all these different units you have. You know, if you wanted a transient shaper, a saturator, a sub-generator, air, and a clipper, you're looking at several $100s. So having these all built into one unit for $100, I would say 5 stars on price, absolutely is a deal. And then as far as uniqueness and usability goes, again, I would give this 5 stars. There's nothing that really sounds like it. Like you can go and you can place all this stuff on a track, but it's not going to be KNOCK VST. This is a very special plugin and I've seen a lot of amazing artists use it. Highly recommend, go check it out. Check Decap out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.